Okay then, Dave, so this is basically your left hand one here was your before, and your right hand one now is the after with that drill that we sort of go and practice and kind of work at the range. Now I would suggest this drill we're going to see now in a second, that'll be kind of maybe your warm-up swings, so the wedge, 9-9, nice and soft, and then maybe 10 of them, and then hit 5 or 10 full shots without the pause, check, look, and so on. See how they go. Are they over the top, or do you feel the other top coming? If they are, go back to drill. Then you're going to do a few shots with the wall behind you, get the feeling of that club coming down behind the wall. Just start trying to implement movements in your golf swing. So you're working on a takeaway movement, checking it, and a downswing feeling to implement that into your golf swing and putting the jigsaw piece together bit by bit. Okay, if we look here at your kind of before on the left hand side, okay, so as your club goes back, you can see before that, when that club gets kind of like halfway back, the club shaft we can see here now way behind you, way on the underneath plane and so on, and just from there you have to kind of tip that back over the top. If you don't, hitting your golf club from this angle now, you hit the ground about a foot behind the golf ball. So you have to kind of create a sort of tipping sort of sensation when the golf club back. If we compare that now to that, it's a bit short, but hey, I'd rather see that club face now nicely on over your toes than this one here, like whipped in behind you.
When it's short, where
I mean, the club in theory could be a little bit more kind of just sort of higher. It's a little bit lower, but I mean, I'm clutching at straws. It's a good position for the most part, okay. And as you then start turning into your back, so you look back at the golf ball, then you start turning into your backswing. Now the angle of the club going back there. Ooh, let's turn that down. Nicely on the golf ball. Where if we sort of go to here now and do that. That club now is a little bit flatter and behind you. That club, the arms have gone behind your body there, okay? I would say that's a little bit steeper than we want to. That's a little bit flatter than we want to. We want to kind of find an in-betweener in there somewhere, okay? But I'd rather see you go a bit this way to start with and sort of bring it back under than going here on the way back and being inside, then back over the top. Because the over the top's the movers are killing you. If you're underneath too much, you kind of got to tip it back the other way. So getting that club to top there now nicely. Now from here, look at your foot, that drop with the head and the shoulders there, that move there is a sign you're gripping on so tight that your arms can't just fall down here. When the hands start going this way, the shoulder's going to kind of come with it and that lunges forward. Now, it's not as much as it was in before, but your hands now are coming through. This club, you can see at this point now, working through your neck. At this position now, we want to see the hands a little bit more kind of on that line there, yeah? A bit more behind you, a bit further back on a shallower angle. Help that club come in the golf ball more on a sort of soft curve this way as opposed to across the ball to the left there. Okay, but that'll take a bit of practice. Obviously, the takeaway is something you can do quite quickly because you can just see that and feel it. Okay, top of the backswing now, good. The transition down is still going to be as reactionary as we need it to be because obviously, if you think from the top of the backswing here now, 6.3 on the clock there, you're in the golf ball at 6.6. So less than half a second, you're in the golf ball. There's not a lot you can really do in terms of thinking or trying to adjust. It's got to be feel and just sort of practice over time. But the club now is starting to come a little bit more. That's a little bit outside the lines you can see. A good strike. Golf ball working through there again. The start line was good. The shot was good. Obviously, long term, we're not going to be playing golf there, David, doing this, stopping, looking, back at the ball, and then there. Okay? You need to get to a stage where it becomes kind of a blend up to here now where you're working the club kind of in one go, just not so far behind you. That's the thing. The club gets too far behind you and you're throwing the club back over the top. When you did it before and you said you had a nice little draw like so, you were able to time that club coming back so far here and then tipping back over the top and coming back kind of from here. And you probably got quite good decent at that. At the moment now, what you are doing, if you do a different colour, you're kind of coming back here and going, hang on, different thing. You're going back in here and then tipping over too much and then coming back from the outside, coming over the top.
Yeah.
Okay? But trying to judge that just requires more ability and more skill, which why make the game harder? We know this game is difficult. We can simplify it and make it as a single plane around your body. It'll be a lot easier, yeah?
Yeah, because I think I said to you on the phone, I had the swing I used to sort of have, and then all of a sudden my brain sort of told me, come there and lift.
Yeah, there's no lifting really needs to be in the golf. The golf club's going to start working up anyway.
Yeah. Okay,
if that club goes back straight, it's going to start working up. I mean, it'd be very hard not to hit the golf club up in the air. To swing a golf club kind of basically around on a circle around there would be very tough. The club is going to start working up to some extent. Okay, you need to think about lifting the golf club. But the first part of that takeaway is going to be key. Once the club starts working back better, then it can start moving up naturally rather than you trying to lift it up, okay? That kind of makes sense then, yeah?
Yeah.
Good stuff,
Yeah.
very good.